Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers prepare vegetarian hot meals for quake survivors in Kumamoto, Japan. Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter helps repair a nunnery in Nepal to continue to propagate the dharma. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee Shoda. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program with a visit to Japan. On April 24th, Tzu Chi volunteers in Otsu, Kumamoto gathered in a gymnasium to prepare hot meals for quake-affected residents. Upon hearing the news that Tzu Chi was providing free hot meals, many mothers and housewives brought kitchen equipment to help with the effort. I came to help prepare meals. I'm helping cut onions, bok choy, and eggplant.
Although I actually don't cook so often, but that's no reason not to come and help out here today.
These mothers and wives have brought enough supplies to make dinner for 400 people. Children can also be seen helping out. Several cubicle areas have been transformed into a temporary kitchen. When some local mothers heard Tzu Chi would be preparing food, they quickly volunteered themselves, their kids, and their kitchen equipment to help with the effort.
I think it's a very difficult situation for everyone to be here. After the earthquake, I also received a lot of help when I stayed here for a while. So today, I brought some rice balls and a bunch of things to express my gratitude.
Of course, the reason I came here today was to help people. That's the goal of participating today, to do as much as I can to help.
With only vegetable soup, volunteers worried the taste will be bland. So volunteers use some of their own techniques to add a little flavor.
We thought about how to get Japanese people to enjoy vegetarian food, so we decided to use something they are familiar with, rice balls. That way, after they are attracted to trying the rice balls, we think more people will be receptive to eating vegetarian food this way.
No matter the shape, making rice balls comes easy to this group of young people. They have made 150 rice balls, which they offer to residents and volunteers, letting them know that it's a rice ball made from Tzu Chi's instant rice.
Japanese rice is a little more translucent, so it's a little different than this rice. But this is still very good. Rice balls are a really healthy food choice to provide nutrients. I think having these vegetarian rice balls at this time is really good for everyone.
It is quickly discovered that although the shelter isn't lacking supplies, the residents have been eating mostly dried goods. So it is decided to make something warm for the residents to enjoy. In the end, residents enjoyed hot soup made with love, which should keep them warm through another night.
Next, we'll meet some locals in Kumamoto that lent a hand to Tzu Chi volunteers during their quake disaster survey, and also take a look at some of the challenges the volunteers faced during this relief mission.
In the aftermath of any disaster, finding one's way can be extremely difficult.
My friend Miss Sakai already arranged for her company employees to help and for her cousin to drive us around. They have really been accommodating in helping us, as we gave them such short notice. We have also relied on them to help us find a way around. They have not only offered help these past few days, they have been facing challenges alongside us. They've really been doing a lot.
For volunteers coming to Kumamoto from other regions to help with disaster relief, most are very unfamiliar with the area. To help any community with its troubles, the first step is always reaching one's destination. Originally, Otsu Elementary School was thought to be facing supply shortages. However, after surveying the site, it appears there was a misunderstanding. Even still, volunteers are there to make sure every need is met.
もうどうしようもないもんだけですね。もうとにかく家にはもうやっぱしみんな瓦も壊れて雨漏りするしですね。やっぱりまだ余震が続くもんでですね。
We We heard someone say that they were running short of food in that area, but when we got here, we realized there was some misunderstanding. But when we get a notice like that, we always want to follow up on it. Even if it is a relative minor worry, we want to make sure everyone gets what they need.
Through friendship and cooperation with locals, volunteers are able to help communities effectively and continue their mission of spreading love.
One of the signatures of Tzu Chi's hospitals is their enthusiastic volunteers. In today's Tzu Chi 50th anniversary special report, we learn what it means to be a hospital volunteer and why are they so important in the smooth running of Tzu Chi's hospitals.
教员会啊之类的。那这一集就是讲医疗剧本，然后所以我们就是希望。
These 7 complete strangers are brought together because of love. They are all resident volunteers here at the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. However, none of them are local. Just what made them want to leave home and volunteer in Hualien.
We all know that good health is priceless, rendering all the bickering and comparing meaningless. As long as you can find the right path, it won't matter how far you have to travel. Perhaps patients might be prejudiced against the medical staff, but with the intervention of volunteers, we can help offset their anguish. To see the patient's suffering fade away and be replaced by cheerful smiles, that is our biggest reward. Why are we called the resident volunteers? Because we are here all the time and lend assistance to those who need it.
We provide immediate assistance to patients and their families. It's like walking the bodhisattva path by serving people.
Lonely man among the 7 has a special nickname, Chief Tzu.
They gave me the nickname Chief Tzu. It's not that I'm in charge of anything special. I help out here and there, little things like cleaning up and wiping down tables, that sort of thing.
By taking good care of the doctors, they have the stamina, spirit, and motivation to look after their patients.
The 7 volunteers have practically made the hospital their home, each attending to their own duty.
亲爱的师傅，喂，你来讲，一下再来讲。想关手机哦。对呀，吃很多了哈，你很会照顾。早安哦。
A seemingly cold hospital is now full of warmth because of them.
You should tell him to rest well, not to worry, and leave everything in the doctor's hands. Keep it up, your elder brother, grandchildren, and sister-in-law all came to visit. Yesterday, your second and third child came as well.
Inside the hospital ward, the volunteers are responsible for caring and supporting patients and their families. Through her long years of service, Tzu has gotten to know each patient personally.
When family members talk about their problems, you have to listen. If you have bonded with them, they'll confide in you. He has gotten better, so you need to have faith. Don't worry so much, don't give up.
加油！啊，做这家书，没有你那个哈，对啊，要加油哈。
听说跟大家很熟。
很熟啊，因为每天都在这里啊。
Only by really trying to understand each family's needs can the volunteers properly lend their assistance.
With so many patients coming through here, whether it's the patients themselves or their family, in their time of need, we, the volunteers, who are great in number, can always give them continuous support and encouragement.
In 1986, when the hospital was established, volunteers came on their own to help out during their free time. 3 months later, Yan Huimei and Ji Jingyang decided to establish a scheduling system.
季妈妈哦，那个静阳师姐，她就在台
At
北
the。time, Sister Jingyang told the volunteers in Taipei that the Hualien Hospital needed volunteers. In the beginning, people would go in a group of 10. Later, local volunteers in Hualien also
就
joined
慢
in.
慢的加入了花莲本地的。
The volunteer system can now be found in every Tzu Chi hospital. Besides resident volunteers, there are also those who come from different places. that work rotational shifts.
妈妈，我唱日语给你听。好。Osaka 是阮的。
Lying in her hospital bed, Mrs. Yang loves the Japanese song sung by Chen Meiman.
何もかも泣いてください。大阪是阮的。
The last time she was here, she could open her eyes and respond, but she took a bad fall this time.
Chen Meiman volunteers at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital on a monthly basis. She has come to reciprocate the love she has received, as 5 years ago she couldn't even smile.
我不是坏人。
I'm not useless, but at the time I was really depressed. I would go pray at Tzu Chi Gong's temple and lay out all my troubles in my prayer. Somehow, by the will of God, I ended up at this hospital.
我就来慈济这样看。
At the time, Chen was experiencing severe pain caused by nerve compression in her right hand, which caused her to become depressed. After seeking treatment at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, she was completely cured of her physical and mental illness.
我女儿也是，他们就说。
My daughter also said that I have become less obsessed and temperamental. She said I'm a happier person because of
做
volunteering.
志工做得真快乐。
It was thanks to the support of the hospital volunteers and staff that Chen has learned to welcome the world inside her heart and to share her love, which is why she later became a volunteer.
You're trying to find ways and strengthen yourself so you can help others, which makes all the difference. We always say we're growing constantly. That's because we have to have a big shoulder for others to lean on.
At Tzu Chi's 6 hospitals across Taiwan, some 600 volunteers are found serving every day. Through giving, they learn to cherish their blessings and purify their mind, which drives them to continue doing what they do.
In Taiwan, many volunteers participate in Tzu Chi's musical adaptations of sutras every year because they find the overall experience inspiring. In our next report, we meet one on-stage volunteer who has performed in such musicals for the past 6 years.
You feel
the Dharma participating in the sutra adaptation. Walking up the stairs and listening to the opening verses, everyone was deeply moved. I'm still moved to this day.
Zhou Shuisheng still remembers his participation in the sutra adaptation 6 years ago. Being inspired, he has participated in sutra adaptations every year since. Besides Zhou, these 2 high school students are also working hard to comprehend the meanings conveyed by sutra verses.
The Buddhist procession performed by our Tzu Chi class was on a small scale, but the sutra adaptation was amazing, with so many people participating.
The performance relies on feelings of the participants. We will perform well if we grasp the feelings first.
The students practice diligently in the evenings or on holidays, hoping to pass on the Buddhist teachings and their inspiration to the public.
Nepal's Thrangu Tara Abbey is a Tibetan Buddhism nunnery established in 1992 by the very venerable Thrangu Rinpoche. However, after the 2015 Nepal earthquake, the abbey's main hall and 2 dormitories were badly damaged and classified as dangerous. As the abbey could not afford to make the repairs themselves, it was thanks to the Tzu Chi Foundation's help that the Dharma will continue to propagate there.
Nepal's Thrangu Tara Abbey, Malaysia's Tzu Chi, Selangor, and Kuala Lumpur chapter is now working with a well-known earthquake engineering consulting company, Kumamoto International Nepal, to rebuild the abbey damaged in last year's earthquakes.
I believe that the process of rebuilding will be quite smooth. As for the funding, all this will come from Malaysia. We're grateful to Master Zheng Yan for giving us this opportunity to cultivate this blessing.
The way that the organization works, I learned a lot about you guys when I was over there. I like the fact that, basically you guys don't take donations for yourselves, basically. It's kind of like a self-running organization. So there's very low overhead, so that means all the money is being very well spent. Also the fact that you're doing these types of projects that are very useful, I can see that the projects are very meaningful.
The repair of the abbey will be funded by Tzu Chi, while Miyamoto International will be responsible for the design, consultation, and supervision of construction work. The 9th Khenchen Drangu Rinpoche presided over the MOU signing ceremony and exchanged gifts with Tzu Chi volunteers to express his gratitude.
April 25th marked the first anniversary of the major earthquake that struck Nepal. In the aftermath of the disaster, Tzu Chi Foundation dispatched 11 disaster relief teams to the country to provide medical assistance and relief supplies. Today, we take a look back at how Tzu Chi volunteers extended their assistance to help quake-torn Nepal rebuild.
In less than 24 hours after a major earthquake happened in Nepal, Taiwan, located 3,600 kilometers away, starts international relief work. Tzu Chi volunteers from Taiwan, Malaysia, the Philippines, India, and the USA flew to Nepal on April 28, 2015 to join hands with local medical professionals to treat wounded people. Roadsides and tents became doctors' emergency rooms.
We are very happy to see you all here for our help.
Despite the constant aftershocks and poor sanitation, Tzu Chi Foundation sent 11 teams of volunteers to help local people.
My house has collapsed, so now I live in a tent. I'm happy to receive these goods.
The United Nations estimates that over 30,000 schools were damaged by the earthquake. It thus means close to 1 million students cannot study in safety. These volunteers have to endure the daytime temperature of 38 degrees Celsius and the inconvenience of constant power shortage, but they still manage to complete their tasks.
We measured the temperature and found out it was 33 inside and 38 outside the building.
Requires more safety and more concern about the use of the materials.
We require safety for all the temporary classrooms. I found out the materials and structure you're going to use are very good.
Okay.
Tzu Chi and the Education Ministry of Nepal signed a memorandum that from July 2015, Tzu Chi will build 158 temporary classrooms. A local entrepreneur, Chaudhary, was inspired that he helps buy the needed materials. Then the construction of 4 schools and 1 hospital started.
用生命走入他们的生命里，带动他们，让他们快乐，让他们呢深深的感受到了被尊重，这都是呢真诚的爱，爱诚之情谊呀，交之因实哈。
These earthquake survivors suffer because their houses have collapsed, but deep in their hearts they still retain some love. Seeing an old man lying on the roadside and covered by his own waste and flies hovering over him, the neighbors contact Tzu Chi volunteers to help him. 2 local volunteers, Pampu Nobu and Pasan Laman, arrived with surgical masks and gloves and washed the old man without any hesitation.
The dark cloud blocks the sun, so after you have left, we volunteers will continue working hard to remove the dark cloud.
Having received assistance in the aftermath of the quake, the local volunteers also help each other and learn from giving of themselves.
Finally, we meet a Tzu Chi scholarship recipient in Qinghai, China, who is already reciprocating Tzu Chi's assistance with gratitude. Having been abandoned by her parents, Renqing Zhuoma almost gave up attending high school due to financial difficulties. Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers helped her continue her studies. Now the young girl not only sells recyclables to make donations, she also promised the volunteers she will contribute to society.
Before heading to school, Renqing Zhuoma always cooks some food for her grandmother. Since her parents left, her grandmother is her closest relative. After she got into high school, her grandmother had been worried about paying for her tuition.
My grandmother said, go ahead and attend the school first. When they asked us to pay, we'll just quit. So I registered and was prepared to quit school when they asked me to pay. Then I came across Tzu Chi.
Having depended on relatives' assistance, Renqing cherishes the scholarship she was given. Learning that Tzu Chi's fund comes from donors, she began to collect recyclables while going to and returning from school.
These are gold along the roads. I can collect a lot of gold every day, that sometimes the bag is too small for them.
In the past, she thought about selling the recyclables to save up for her tuition fees.
This is about 5 cents. 2 of them are worth about a dime.
Now she donates the money she gets from selling recyclables.
After collecting many bottles, I can sell them and donate 5 cents with my love. If you can donate 1 renminbi, I can also help out with my 5 cents.
In fact, Renqing often ate buns and water for a meal. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers have invited her to eat at the Tzu Chi office. For 3 years, the volunteers have treated her like their own daughter. They also bring Renqing cookies and fruit on each visit, which are treats that she only gets during Chinese New Year.
I have what your daughters have. You have loved me the way you love your child. So I say you're like my fathers and mothers.
As the volunteers care for her with love, Renqing no longer complains about her parents.
First, my father gave me life. Second, compared to my peers, I have more experience.
In less than 100 days till Renqing takes the college entrance exam, the volunteers and Renqing have made an agreement.
We'd be satisfied if you contribute to society after finishing school. We'd feel accomplished.
I will certainly make you feel accomplished.
Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology's nursing department recently held a camp for middle school students to spark their interests in nursing. The courses included teaching the participants how to bathe newborns and trying on fake pregnant bellies so the students can better appreciate their mother. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to DaAi Headlines. See you next time.